Texas Tech manhandles Utah. They were the better roster. They were the better team. They had the better quarterback, even though their starter got hurt. 34-10 Texas Tech, and the Red Raiders cover that 3.5-point spread. This is a big noon kickoff game, 10 a.m. local time. Still, the stadium was rocking. Utah's defense was a near elite unit. Texas Tech's same thing, at least relative to Big 12 standards nationally. I don't know if they're elite, but they have that potential. The winner of this game was the Texas Tech D-line and Texas Tech backup quarterback, and maybe moving forward, starter. Before we resume this segment, some great and free ways to support this channel are liking the video, watching it all the way through, commenting your thoughts down below. I love to hear your analysis, sharing the video, subscribing to the channel, and also hitting the notification bell. That way you can get notified when we go live or release new content. And don't just hit the notification bell for the channel. That's very helpful. But what's also helpful and free and useful to you, if you are a diehard fan of a specific team and want to get notifications whenever I make content about a specific team, not just my content in general, well, we have playlists for every Power 4 college football team, so the notification bell on any of those playlists you are interested in. If you want to support the channel financially, there are ways to do so in the description, and you can sign up as a paid member. Will Hammond. The throws he made, the runs he made, the contact he sought out, and the look on his face, he's a winner. To go into Utah and dominate Utah the way Tech did with the backup quarterback, I'm just going to come out and say it. This team can go 12-0. Texas Tech could lock up a playoff spot without winning the Big 12 with that win. That team is so dominant, and even with their discipline issues, they killed a disciplined team in Utah who has a great coaching staff. It's crazy watching what happened in that game and processing it and thinking Utah doesn't lose at home when they're good. And I think there's a chance this team in Utah is good. And yet Texas Tech won. They won big, 34-10, and they led for much of the game. In fact, they led or tied for the entire game. Went up 7-0 early. Utah got a field goal right before half after Texas Tech got a field goal. Texas Tech either led by double digits, by a single score, or was tied for the whole game. And the only point where they were tied was in the first 4 minutes of the first quarter. So they led by double digits or one score for the whole game. They outgained Utah 484 yards to Utah's 263. They forced 4 turnovers. Now, Utah also forced 2. I don't think Utah's defense was the reason why they lost. It was Utah's offense versus Texas Tech's defense was an awful, awful matchup. I thought Utah's O-line was going to win here, or at least hold up, and I was wrong. Texas Tech dominated that Utah offensive line. They absolutely controlled them. I mean, Texas Tech, 1 sack, 4 TFLs. That's an understatement as to how dominant they were. Utah only ran sack adjusted for 3.7 yards per carry. Tech ran for 5.3. Tech had a 100% power rushing success rate. Utah just an 80%. Utah was 0 of 2 on 4th down, 4 of 14 on 3rd. They had no downfield passing threat. And Texas Tech had a 5-minute time of possession advantage. They averaged 8.9 yards per pass attempt. Utah averaged 4.3. Just a dominant performance by the Red Raiders. Huge win by Joey McGuire. And I think that moving forward, Texas Tech is the team to beat in the Big 12. Honestly, I don't really see who beats them regular season-wise. Let's go through Texas Tech's schedule really quickly. Let's go through it. So Texas Tech has to play at Houston, off a bye, Kansas at home, Arizona State on the road, Oklahoma State at home, Kansas State on the road, BYU at home, UCF at home, West Virginia on the road. If they simply show up with a pulse, they're not losing to any of these teams. Because I don't think they played their A game yesterday. When you have a quarterback injured, and on top of that, you have 122 yards in penalties, you're not playing your A game. You're not. And I say that because Texas Tech, the way they played yesterday, told me they were locked in. And I thought that they actually coached well. This is McGuire's best staff. Hammond being 13 of 16 for 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also had 61 rushing yards. He had a 96.3 QBR. You should consider starting him moving forward. Just the ceiling he has, he's young, he still has more room to grow, and he did a good job against a great Utah defense. That was incredible. My question for Utah is, how good is their offensive line? Because if it's good and Tech's D-line and team is just that fantastic, Utah can still contend for a 10-win season, a successful season, and maybe try to pull off an upset against Tech in a rematch in the Big 12 championship game. However, if it was just overrated this whole time, drastically overrated, Utah could once again be in trouble for having a disappointing season relative to preseason expectations. I think Texas Tech's roster is legit. That was my main takeaway from this game. Their size and athletic advantage was obvious in the second quarter moving forward. And in the first quarter, look, they took the lead and they never gave up the lead. So they were the better team, and they played in a very hostile, unusual environment, still won, still dominated. Tech made coaching upgrades. Like Sheil Wood, their defensive coordinator, who was with current Houston head coach Willie Fritz for a long time. He put Jason Beck in a box the whole game. And Beck and Dampier, and I think Dampier's a good quarterback, they couldn't do anything for the whole game. So that move, the coaching moves that Tech made, in addition to the roster moves, A+. I mean, Tech is better than I thought they were in the preseason. I thought Tech preseason was going to be a top 25 team and improve a ton and, win 9 games. This team should win 12. If you're a Tech fan, you should expect 12 wins, whether that's 12-1 or you go 12-0 regular season and go 13-0. You should expect to dominate the Big 12 from here on out with how you're recruiting, the donors you have, the staff moves you've made, and the fact that this is really just the beginning of money being poured into this program, and you already look this good. Utah's offensive line, I think it's still good, great, but when you give up 4 TFLs, average 3.7 yards per carry, and Dampier's constantly under pressure, you're not an elite unit. I mean, Texas Tech, to be fair, could have maybe the best D-line in the country, the way they've been playing. That is an SEC Big Ten caliber defensive line. And I would say defensive front. I think the linebackers could play in the Big Ten and SEC. And I think Bryce Pollock, their corner, could play in the Big Ten or SEC too. He started in the SEC last year at Mississippi State. So they have a Big Ten SEC defense physically, and they have a good coordinator. So it's one of the better defenses in all of college football. And they also have talent on offense too. Got to give credit, though, to Morgan Scaley, Utah's defensive coordinator. Thought he did a good job. I just think Utah's limited by its talent, and ultimately Texas Tech being the most talented team in the Big 12, they're not talent limited. Tech is one of these teams, based on what I'm watching, that they could win a playoff game, and I don't think anyone else in the Big 12 could win a playoff game. I think Utah's limited by its talent. They don't have the players to win these type of games. We saw that in 21 against Ohio State, 22 against Penn State. We saw it 23 against Oregon at home, Washington on the road where they were close, but Washington was just better. Against Oregon State in 23. Whittingham's a really good coach, but they're really limited talent-wise. So when you face a team that's more talented than you or is equal talent but on the road, you're going to struggle with that roster. Ultimately, I'm still high on both of these teams. Wouldn't be shocked if they rematched in the Big 12 championship game. Thank you so much for watching this segment on College Football with Sam. Before we close out here, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video around, comment your thoughts and analysis down below so I can read them and reply to them if I have the time. Members get priority replies, but I try to reply to everyone. And also hit the notification bell for the channel and also for any team playlists you are interested in. If you want to support the channel financially, you can always super chat me in the comments section, but I prefer that you sign up as a paid member of the Patreon page or as a YouTube member, or that you can purchase some wonderful merchandise to represent us. I'll see you all soon and have a fantastic day.